What's up guys, Ryan here with Treadaway Training, and today we are going to be talking about sugar intakes and fat loss. For a long time, fat was blamed for the obesity epidemic. And now people are trending all the way to the other end of the spectrum and saying that fat is your friend and that sugar is the devil and is making you fat and you should avoid sugar at all costs. Sugar is devoid of micronutrients, it is devoid of fiber, and it does very little for helping you to feel satiated, for helping you to feel full. That said, it would make a lot of sense for sugar to be a primary driver of the obesity epidemic. If you look at the chart that I have here, you will notice that the two correlate together very well. As sugar intake goes up, so do the rates of obesity, at least until 1999. If you look at year 2000 and onward, you'll notice that there is a sharp decline in the average sugar intake in America, but yet the obesity rate continues to climb at an almost unimpeded rate. Does this mean that sugar is innocent? Well, yes and no. See, there are a few problems with sugar. Number one, sugary foods are hyperpalatable, meaning that they are super duper tasty and we love to eat them, we crave them. Number two, sugar is incredibly low on the satiety index, meaning, like I said earlier, it does very little to fill you up, meaning you can easily overeat on sugary foods. Number three, foods that are high in sugar also tend to be very high in calories. So what we're left with are foods that are super high in calories per serving and also super easy to overeat on. This is where the source of the sugar becomes particularly important. If you look at the average soft drink, which clocks in at around 160 calories, has about 40 carbs, and all 40 of those carbs are sugar. And the reason why this is bad is if you're having a soft drink with your meal, the average person isn't going to say, okay, well, I had 160 calories from this soft drink, therefore I need to eat 160 calories less in this meal so that they even out. No, most people are just going to say, okay, here's my meal and this soft drink, and then the soft drink is just going to be extra calories on top of the meal. And that's assuming that you don't get any refills. I have seen plenty of people get up to 5 or more refills in one sitting. And if you get 5 refills, that's 800 extra calories in one sitting. Now let's look at a different situation. Compared to the 160 calories from the soft drink, let's look at 160 calories of raspberries. That is 276 grams of raspberries, or 2.25 cups. This contains 33 carbs and 11 total grams of sugar. Now for the same calories, you could have a very filling snack compared to a soft drink. You may have also noted that I equated the calories, 160 calories for each of these options, instead of equating the sugar. And that'll become important here in a second. And before I go any further, let me get this myth out of the way. Some people say you should avoid sugar because sugar spikes insulin, and insulin tells your body to store fat. And while this is actually absolutely true, the same can be said for proteins. Protein also spikes insulin, and fat doesn't even need to spike insulin in order to be stored as body fat. We actually store body fat every single time we eat a meal. If you're interested in this and the reason why we should not be specifically concerned with carbs or sugar intake, I have linked an article that I wrote. It'll be the first link in the description below. You can click over to that to learn more about that topic. And if you don't like reading, that's fine also. There is an audio included there as well. Now with all that said, it seems like we need to almost do something absolutely crazy and eat less food or something. And that's exactly what the science says we should do. Calories is the #1 determinant of fat gain, fat loss, or maintenance. In fact, studies have found that when calories and macros, which macros are your proteins, your carbs, and your fats, when your calories and macros are equated between groups, there was actually no difference in fat loss or health markers, with one group having a low sugar intake and one group having a high sugar intake. I've linked all those studies that I read down below, and you can check those out if you would like. In terms of practical recommendations, I would suggest you get at least 80% of your calories from whole food or minimally processed food sources, such as lean meats, fruits, veggies, and low-fat dairy products, whole grains, stuff like that. And then the other 20% of your calories can come from wherever you'd like them to, whether it be ice cream, candy, whatever. Enjoy the other 20% of your calories. Make it so that your diet is fun, spice it up, make sure that you're able to stick to the calorie target that you've set for yourself. And this is also assuming that you are actually hitting a calorie target. This doesn't mean eat as much as you want and still have 20% of those calories come from junk food. That means you're hitting a specific calorie target where at least 80% of those calories are coming from the food sources that I mentioned before, and then 20% or less coming from whatever you want. Thank you so much for watching this video. Toss it a thumbs up if you liked it, and get subscribed for more content just like this. If you found this information helpful and think others will benefit from it as well, please give this video a share on your favorite social media platform. It helps us out more than you know. As always, God bless you and your family, and I'll see you next week.